Okay, so here is our homework. It's not many questions. There's only 4, but you definitely know with all those formulas, there could be a lot of parts to these. So we're going to go ahead and look at these and how do we use the horizontal, the trend, the vertical, the common size, and all those ratios that we've had throughout the whole course, and basically computing. So a lot of math going on. This is our heavy math chapter. So starting off with question 1, we do have Magic Oak Realty, and we have their net revenue and net income for the following 5-year period. And they want us to compute a trend analysis. Alright, so that's the only chart that's already given to us. So basically we're going to create the trend. Now, 15 is our base here. Okay, again, typically going to be 100%. So what we're going to do again is figure out all these numbers. We take whichever year we're using, we're going to divide it by the base year amount. So 16. We have 1,003,000 divided by base year. Okay. And of course, to help you with percentage, times it by 100. So again, long decimals. Typically, again, we're going to go ahead and just do 1 decimal place. Though it doesn't say how many decimal places, oh, it actually does. There it is. Round to the nearest full percent. Not bad. So, nearest full percent, since this is a 6, next is an 8. Again, rounding, we move round up. So mine will be 97%. Again, your numbers may be a little bit different, but the concept is still the same. Again, I'm going to go through all of these. It's just the same process. I take that year, for 17, divide by our base year, times by 100. Again, we're looking at 110%. Okay. 18. Again, if you have questions or want me to go back through it, just let me know. Okay. So we're looking at 115 for me. And again, rounding up. Okay. And then last year in 2019, wow, that was a good change. 133%. And check. Make sure you always get the nice, enthusiastic thing from Kirsten. Positivity, rock on. And again, everybody's doing good. Now they want you to do the net income. So we're looking at net revenue, which is basically net sales. Now we're looking at net income, and we're going to do the same thing for this problem. So, 74,000 divided by 82. Okay, so I'm looking at 90%. Right. 81,000 divided by 82 times 100. Oh. We got 99. Okay. 117 divided by 82 at 143. Odds on, also, if it does mark it wrong, and you know you did the formula correct, mostly it's probably a rounding issue, so double check your rounding. 122 divided by 82. So about 149 at the end. Alright. Alright, now we want to see which grew faster during the period, net revenue or net income. So when we look at this trend, again, you're looking at the base year and you're comparing the percentage. Okay? So basically, you're trying to figure out, well, which one grew faster at a faster rate? Well, the net revenue looks like it's going. It's going constantly. And it's going every year. So that's good. Then all of a sudden, net income starts out slow. But look at this big old huge jump. I mean, that was big. So really, if we're looking at a trend that's doing well each year, that would be revenue. But I'm figuring that income with this huge jump from 99% to 143, that is pretty fast. And that's going to be for me, that's the answer. Mostly comparative of the two. I'm looking at a faster rate, so I'm looking for bigger jumps between the years. And so, really, for me, 17 and 18 for net income was a big, fast jump. That was a huge difference. Okay, that's it for question 1. Okay. Next, looks like we've got 6 parts remaining, and we're going to evaluate the common stock of Madison State Bank as an investment, specifically using the 3 stock ratios to determine whether the common stock has increased or decreased in attractiveness, during the past year, round to 2 decimal places. Now let's click here, see what's going on. Okay, we got our chart. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to put in the formula first. So this is where our notes come in. So we know this is price earnings. As I said, we're doing stock. So here's our price earnings ratio, which again is market price per share of common stock divided by earnings per share. So there we go. There's our formula. Now they want us to actually do it. Okay. So, well, first thing we have to do is actually perform the bottom part, the earnings ratio, earnings per share. So, it gives us the market price, so all we have to do is figure out earnings per share. So let's go look up that formula. There we go. Net income minus preferred dividends divided by the weighted average number of common shares outstanding. Okay, that's going to be the fun part, is the weighted average. Alright, so this includes 90 shares of common stock. Even though it's including 90 shares, we're going to look at this and see if we can figure this out. First thing, I want to see basically the price per share, because I'm thinking that 90,000 shares of common stock only affects 2018, the most recent year, because that's usually how data works. As you can see, there's a difference between the two. So, calculator, 90,000. So let's start with 79,000 divided by 90,000 shares equals about 8.77. So okay, so that says the price per share is about 8.78, which doesn't really help us very much. So look at 610,000 divided by 8.78, about close to 69,500 shares. We want to find a weighted average. Because if they're just going to use 90,000, okay, we're going to take the 90,000 first and see if that's what's going to give us the answer. But I think they don't want to make it that overly complicated. Alright, so we're going to take net income for 2018. We're going to verify what's going on. Calculate 63,900 minus our preferred dividends, which was 16,200, and we're going to go ahead and divide by 90,000 shares. I'm not too sure about it, because again, they're not giving us per share amount of the shares. So we may have to do a little bit of checking into here. I don't think I really particularly care for that. So let's see. Okay, so they don't like that. They don't like the 90,000. Okay, so we're going to have to go pretty much, I want to say 90,000 for 2018, because they don't give us a 2017 item. Oh, I didn't do that was my bad. I forgot to do the top part. I'm just thinking earnings per share. So we'll take that, 53 cents. So 19.50. Okay. Alright, so that's about 36.79. Let's see. Okay, so they are taking the 90,000. Alright, my bad. I didn't finish out the whole formula. I just put in it earnings per share. So we're going to go ahead and take 2017, see if they're going to do the same thing, because this is the only shares that they give us. So, calculator, first is figure out earnings per share. So we're going to take 56,700 minus preferred stock dividends divided by 90,000, because again, it's the shares. So that's about 45 cents. And then to find price per earnings, you take the market share, which is $14, divided by our earnings per share of 45 cents. So we're looking at about $31.11. Let's see if that is correct. That is. So, even though they're not doing it completely correct, which the reason why I'm saying that, because the common stock amounts are different, means that there was stock sales. Just do this, go by 90,000 or whatever shares you have, and have that as your denominator for weighted average number of common shares outstanding. So again, to solve that one first, the price earnings ratio, you have to compute this formula first, earnings per share, and then divide that into market price. Okay. Next is our dividend yield. Now let's look at the calculus formula, find the right one. There's our annual dividends per share divided by market price per share. There we go. Okay. So now calculate the dividend yield for common stock. Alright. So we only again know that we have 90,000. That's the only shares we're going to use. That's all the problem's going to give us. We're not going to dive too much deep. We're going to look at common stock. Okay, so for 2018, first thing we have to do is find how much dividends each share gets. So, on our calculator, we would take the 16,000 and divide it by 90,000. So each share gets about 18 cents. You have a whopping total of 18 cents. Yay! Okay? So annual dividends divided by market share. 0.18 divided by 19.50. Whoa. Oh, this is percentage, so times it by 100. We're looking at 10th percentage. About 9%. Okay. There we go. Alright. We're not giving a lot of dividends here. However, these stockholders, I hope they're happy with 18 cents. Now, as you can see, what I'm doing is all these long decimals. I'm rounding those every time. This is how we get to the answer. Because if you don't, then you will get the accurate number, but it will probably be off from what their answer key is. Always round your interim calculations. Alright, time to do 17. So, they basically have the same amount, which is, again, with shares, their dividends were exactly the same. So again, it's 18 cents. So again, 18 cents per share. And now we divide it by its market price of $14. Again, since we're dealing with percentage, that helps you out, go ahead and times it by 100. So you can see where you stand. This is going to be 1.3%. Okay? That was a little bit easier. Now it's a little bit more complicated as figuring out earnings per share right off the bat. Okay. Next, we're going to do dividend payout. And this is annual dividends per share divided by earnings per share. Yay. Should write down some of these numbers. Okay. So, let's go see what my calculator history has. And that looks like 17.45. Here's our 18. Again, if you're going through this, write down your earnings per share so you can look back at it and your annual dividends per share. So we have 53 cents. So 0.18 divided by 53.53. We're looking at, again, percentage times by 100. 33, basically 34%. There we go. Okay. And then, see, that was 45 cents for 17 for earnings per share. That's why I like this calculator. You know which formula you used it on. You can go find it. So 0.18, our annual dividends, divided by 17's earnings per share of 45 cents. And strictly 40%. Then, monthly times by 100 to help you out with the percentage. Okay. And of course, they'll have this analysis. So again, may not be the same same items. But let's see. Comparing this, dividends are not looking very good. Dividend yield is actually going lower. You can see in both of these. But the price per earnings is actually increasing. So, the attractiveness is increasing by show of an increase in price earnings ratio. And again, just think as an investor. This is going higher. Oh yeah, you want it. If an investor is looking for stock dividend potential, the stock is less attractive for me. To look at how it's lowered in each of the dividends as they both have decreased. Okay? So again, it's just the last little part is just looking at your numbers and seeing what happened. And that's it for question number 2. So, they didn't take an average of the shares. They just said it's 90,000 for me. So wherever the shares are in that little part, use that as your weighted average. Alright. Question 3. Ooh, a vertical analysis. It's a little bit easier. And it's 1 decimal place. Okay. So simple here. We're going to look at it and we're going to see which one percentage total on that's net sales. Anytime we see these, it's always computing from net sales. So net sales is always 100%. And then for vertical, all we do is take each of these numbers and divide by base. So cost of goods sold divided by 784. Again, times by 100 if you want to do the percentage. I keep doing that pattern so it's easier for y'all. So that's 67.7%. And gross profit, 53232, divided by our sales. So gross profit, we need about 32 cents per dollar. Or basically 32.3% if you're looking at percentage. Operating expense, $20.9. So again, all you're doing is, since this is pretty much based on sales, sales will be your 100%. And you take all the additional numbers and you divide it by net sales. So that's all I'm doing right here. And then the last number, $10.7. So we basically make about 10 cents on every dollar that we sold as part of our net income. Not bad. Making a dime. Okay. This one's a little bit different. Like the balance sheet. We have our assets, total assets, which of course is going to be our 100% our assets. Liabilities and stockholders' equity as their own. Again, 100%. Both of these should match across the board. Okay? Now we take each of these numbers, if it's an asset, and divide by total assets. Basically, we're going to figure out how much our assets is made of, or what comprises our assets in that way. So, 297.40 divided by 40. Lots of zeros. 67.6%. It's just our current assets. About 26.2% is our fixed assets. About 1.5 in intangibles. And then finish it off. About down to 100, 4.7. Okay, now let's do our liabilities and stockholders' equity, which again, if your balance sheet does match, still the same denominator, just now with different numerators. So here about 46% of our liabilities in equity is basically current. $22.6 and long term. $68.6 total liabilities. And then stockholders' equity. $71.4. Okay. Check. We're good. It's really all that vertical is. Again, knowing which ones are the 100%, and then just dividing all the numbers into it. So now we do our analysis. Okay, so we're going to compare the company's profit performance and financial position with the average for the industry. We need to pop up the average, and there's our industry average. Okay, so gross profit percentage and profit margin ratio. Which is basically these two right here. Even though they say gross profit and profit margin, we already computed those were in the vertical, are both blank than industry average. Well, compare. Okay. Industry average for gross profit was 34.2. We're sitting at 32.3. Net income was 14.1 for industry. We're at 10.7. So both of us is less than. Okay, simple comparative, which indicates an blank profit performance as compared with industry. Well, technically it would show it unfavorable. Okay, last part. See, the company showed a slight blank investment in fixed assets. So we need the balance sheet, another icon. Here's our industry average. So we're looking at investments in fixed and intangible assets. So here's our fixed, here's our intangible. There's the industry. We are higher than them. We're also higher in industry, or intangible. So for me, both of them are higher. You may have lower for yours, so always compare. So the percentage of debt to total assets is, so if you actually look at the formula for debt to total assets, actually I don't think that was the one. Is it up here? Actually, it's not. What's the same thing here? Basically, this is debt to equity, debt ratio, debt to total assets. Okay, so that's what's going on. So really, it's looking at this percentage. 68.6. This is 64.7. You're higher, which would generally indicate we have more debt. So I would actually say that's weaker. That is true. We have more debt compared to the industry. We are a weaker company. We are more at risk of default. So if you're lower than the industry, you look stronger compared to industry. And again, you have less risk, a lot less debt to manage. Hey, that was actually question 3. That wasn't too terribly bad. So that one leaves us with the big bad boy, which is question number 4. Oh. Okay. Well, first, wow. Question 4 is going to be fun. Look how many parts are remaining. 23. Let's do this. Alright, so first part is trend analysis with net sales and net income. We're going to use 2014 as a base year. So that's base. We already know it's 100%. And round to nearest whole percentage. So, calculator, our big old statement here. Okay, see how many requirements we got. Okay, so trend, profitability analysis, evaluate paid debts. So a lot of ratios are going to be thrown in. Lots of fun going on. It also gives us some ratios already. Okay, see what we got going on. First off, we'll look at net sales. So net sales revenue. I'm going to look at the increases, because my big concern is trend. So, calculate. But if it does match, then we know we're on the route, but we already know because our 2014 should be 100%. So, taking net sales for 2015 was 162, divided by our base year, times by 100, get our percentage. We're looking at 118. Okay. 16. Again, doing our formula for trends. 195,000 divided by base year times 100. Look at 142%. Okay. 17. 215,000 divided by our base times by 100. Wow, 157. We're doing pretty good on net sales. Okay. Last year, oh, 241. Okay. Definitely has gone good, especially 18. We pretty much doubled what we had in 14. Next, net income. We're going to do the same thing. So these numbers here. Remember, this is our base. So we're just taking each year. So we already increased by 141% there. 16 is 861 divided by 3, 64. Times by 100, 238. 17 was 11,040 by 36.4. I don't even know why they're comparing these trends out. It's just blown out water. This always makes you start to question what's going on. Especially this number, this is going to be huge. 958. Whoa. So there's our trend. Oh, we got a nice little questions. Trends in net sales and net income are both upward, both increasing. Pretty good. Which of course, if it's increasing upward, is positive. We are making lots of money. Okay. Next, begin by selecting the appropriate measurements that should be used to complete a profitability analysis. Okay, guys. Okay, so let's look up our notes and evaluating profitability. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we have 5 blanks, we have 4. So I guess we can only take what they're giving us. So we have profit margin, rate of return, total assets, asset turnover, rate of return on common stockholders' equity, and earnings per share. So we'll find out which one of those do not belong. Okay, there's earnings per share. There's the profit margin. There's our common stockholders' equity and rate of return on total assets. I do not see which one are we kind of missing. Looks like the asset turnover ratio. Yep, it's not there. And it pretty much doesn't matter which order you put them in, as long as you have those 4. But probably may actually get you to where you do these formulas in that order that you select them from, though. Okay. Alright. Hey, another thing. Okay, so again, we're going to find our formulas. So, formula is based on this. So, of course, earnings per share. You know, it's net income minus preferred dividends divided by weighted average. So that was in. Okay. Go ahead and close that out. We'll come back to it probably once we do the other. We're going to compute it for each of these years. So this is nice. They already give us one. Alright. That's actually is right there. If you can't overlap it. Okay. Financial position. I am looking for per share of common stock. This one really messes with the formulas a little bit. We know it's weighted average. This is going to make me think here, guys. Because it's giving me a per share of common stock on net income. So, and our formula for earnings per share is net income divided by weighted average. I'm going to use up one of my checks. I wonder if we just put in the number that they give us. That is correct. Cool. So they give us a set here. There's our net income. So they already figured it out. We didn't have to figure it out. Yeah. Nice. So there you go. That just made this problem a lot easier right there. Now, I don't think they did it for profit margin, but we'll find out. So, I don't see anything there. We already know they kind of gave us this one. So it does look like they're going to issue out the formulas exactly how you put them in here. So, be wary. Okay. So of course our classic profit margin ratio is net income divided by net sales revenue. So there we go. Net income divided by net sales. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's what me done. So this one's not here because we do have net income and net sales. So we're going to have to compute these. So 2014. Okay. So our net income, which is at 3644, divided by our net sales, and we'll see. Okay, there's 10. Alright. So 2.7. $15.5149 divided by our sales. $3.2. We should see a good trend of it going higher each year, just like up above. 8661 divided by 1.5. 4.4. 17. Okay, that's 5.3. And then last 2018. I'm looking at 10.6. Okay. Next formula. Alright. Last two. Okay. One, they already give us this return on total assets. And they give us return on stockholders' equity. So they actually give us both of these formulas answers. So let's go ahead and put in the formula out of our list. So rate of return on total assets, net income plus interest expense divided by our average. So all we gotta do is find our net income plus interest, average total assets, that's L. Okay. Common stockholders' equity. again, is right next to it, M. Again, if you look at net income minus preferred dividends divided by average common stockholders' equity. Okay. Again, I'm figuring it's giving us the percentage already for each year. So 7.6, 13.8. And I'm going to go ahead and verify that that's correct, what they're doing. And exactly true. So the only one that you have to calculate so far, we do know we got other ratios going, is the profit margin. It already gives us rate of return and rate of return on total assets and rate of return on stockholders' equity. Yay for problems giving it to us. Okay, check our answer. It is good. Alright, let's see. I'm going to minimize that so I can see what's going on. Alright, the profit margin ratio, return on assets, and return on equity are blank over the 5 years examined. So, looks like all of those are increasing. Okay? The return on assets and return on equity for each year are both very respectful. I'll tell you, put it that way. If it was problematic, that would probably mean that they've been decreasing. Doesn't look good. This looks good, especially 2018. Okay, the earnings per share is increasing over time, so the stock is attractive. Okay, next it's time for the ability to sell merchandise inventory. Now we're going to go through a little batch again. And again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 3. There's the gross profit. We saw that. See, we're looking at anything inventory. And then, of course, accounts receivable. There's the inventory. And day sales. So that's all they give us. So now it's time to compute through each of these. Looking at our balance sheet. This is a very long problem. Okay? Again, gross profit is gross profit divided by net sales. So that will be G. Okay? This one we're probably going to have to look at. Let's see. Yeah. We may have to actually figure this out. So, remember, gross profit is your net sales minus your cost of goods sold. So it looks like we're going to have to do that first to figure out gross profit. Because I do not see gross profit anywhere. New. So that one we'll have to figure out. So, 137,000 minus 108,641. Sure I grabbed that from the right spot. Yep, cost of goods sold. So there's our gross profit, and then divided by net sales. So So we're looking at 20.7%. Hey, a little bit of math going on. So again, taking our sales minus our cost of goods sold. And then for gross profit percentage, take that number and divide by net sales. So we're looking at 21.7%. Now, since this is looking at sales and revenue, we already know the trend is positive. So each of these numbers should actually increase throughout time. 16 minus this cost of goods sold divided by sales. We're at 22.2. Okay, 17 to 15 minus cost of goods sold divided by sales. 23.7. Alright, and last but not least, 2018. .1%. Wow. I think really what we're trying for is just time killer. Especially with 5 years. Alright, so now inventory turnover. Cost of goods sold divided by average merchandise inventory. So there we go. E. This one I may have to experiment with. Alright. So here, they actually do this way before 2013. The only one with 2013. So they do want you to figure out the average each year and then divide by cost of goods sold. I know they won't keep that highlighted, but so again, cost of goods sold divided by the average. So let's find the average of our inventory. So for 2014, that's taking 2013 plus what we had in 2014, divide by 2. There's our average. Then we take the cost of goods sold number, 108,641, divide by that average. So this one is not a percentage. So this one, we need to round 2 decimal places. Okay. So this was 6.26. So naturally, if we're thinking sales have increased each year, we should actually see a turnover that should increase. We're selling more. So let's see if that's actually happening. So next, 15. So basically, we're doing the average. So the current year plus the prior year, divide by 2. Okay, so there's our average. We look at our cost of goods sold, which is 126,846, divided by our average, which is 18,900. We're looking at 6.71. So it did increase. Okay, 16. Do the same. Find our average first. Which is 19,900 divide by 2. Then we take our cost of goods sold, 51710, divide by our average, 7.40. Okay, 17. Okay. We take the 22,200 plus the prior, divide by 2. Then we take the cost of goods sold and divide into the average. So we're looking at 7.58. And then last year's, so 18. Inventory was 24,800 plus last year's, divide by 2. Then take the cost of goods sold and divide by 23,500. So 10.66. All right. We're doing good. Next, last but not least, days of sales inventory. Alright, so 365 divided by our inventory turnover. So there's our 365 divided by inventory turnover. So A is the formula. And basically we're going to take what we have for inventory turnover, now that we know it's correct due to the steps, and basically divide them into 365. So 365 divided by 6.26 is 58.3, because it's only doing one decimal place. So 58.3. So when I should see with day sales, should see a decrease in the number of days. Yep, 6.4.4, not 6.4, wow, 54.4, okay, 16, we have 49.3, okay, 17, is 48.2, and then last but not least, 2018, which is 34.2. We're almost to a month. We're actually going through this. That is not bad. Okay. So again, our analysis. Alright, so inventory turnover has blank over the periods examined. Inventory turnover has increased, which is a positive sign. Company is selling inventory more rapidly. Okay. Well, how many requirements? 6. We're almost there. Almost. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 formulas. This is a killer. So, let's see, which one is it asking for now? Begin by selecting appropriate measurements that should be used to measure the ability to pay debts. Pay debts. So we're probably looking at current and long term. So let's see how many of the current ones there are. I'm going to do a split real quick. This way I can see them. I'm going back and forth. There's the current. There is no cash, so we're not looking at that. Asset test ratio. Working capital, we do not have that. So now we look at this one. We have debt ratio. There's the debt to equity. And last one, times interest earn ratio. Okay. So asset test was a long one. So now we can go basically back, having that full screen. Alright. There we go. It should be D. Yeah. D. There we go. This one's actually given to us, if I remember right. We don't actually have to calculate that one. Yep, there it is. So that's the last one that's actually given to us. So 11911.3. So 11.91.3. Okay. Current ratio. First, that's our classic. Total liabilities divided by, actually it's current, so total current assets divided by total current liabilities. So O. Okay. And let's see what they give us. There's current assets. Excluding merchandise inventory. Oh, they had to do that. But they do give us current liabilities. So again, we're going to have to do a little add because they exclude merchandise inventory, and that's actually part of current assets. And then divide by current liabilities. So, calculator. $14,800 plus our merchandise. Divide by our current liabilities, which is 16,300. That is, well, let's see how many percentage. 2 decimal places. Okay, so 2.44. Okay, then we're going to check. I want to check always, just to make sure, because again, books like to throw a little bit extra items. Alright, now it's time to do all the math. Yay, math. So, 15,500 plus our merchandise, divided by current liabilities, 25,200. 1.76. Okay. Next, 26,500 plus 21,100 divided by current liabilities of 28,600. We'll look at 1.66. Okay. 17.7500, 0 and divide by 27,600, 1.82, and 18. At 1.71. Oof. Okay. Now we're on to debt ratio. Hey, only 2 more after this one. We're almost done. We're in the last 10 parts. So, debt ratio. Again, looking at your formula. Is your total liabilities divided by your total assets. So there it is as letter P. Goes down. And now we're going to go look. Does have our total assets, but of course does not do total liabilities. We have to add. Was that our denominator? Yes, cool. The same way, same scenario, we'll add and divide. Alright, so 14. And there's our total liabilities, divided by our total assets. So, we're looking at, these are percentages. So, 44.8. Okay. Next. We have 15 current liabilities plus long-term debt divided by total assets. %. Don't want to do that. 5, 16, 2,600 plus 16,800 divided by total assets of 87,900. 51.6. Okay. 17, 27,300 plus 21,100. Okay. Divide by total assets of 95,000. It's like 50.9. And then last, 18. Divide by total assets. 51.3. Wait, make sure. Yeah. So a little bit, that one's kind of jumping up and down as it goes. Okay. Debt to equity ratio. Okay. Formula is our total liability now divided by total equity. So basically going through everything again. This time instead of dividing by total assets, we do total equity, which of course they've given us anyway. So we're again just a lot more just running through the numbers real quick. That is Q. 14, the same thing. 16,300 plus 13 divided by 36,100. 80. has the ratio. So it's only two decimal places. Don't need to times it by 100. So 0.81. Okay. 15. So again, you're taking your current liabilities plus your long-term debt to get your total liabilities, and then you divide by stock bonus equity. So 1.22 28,600 plus 16,800 divided by 42,500, 1.07, 17. Now, if it wasn't 5 years, it would be a little bit easier for us. But man, really 5 years. And you see why most of the time we actually use Excel sheets, just input numbers, and it calculates all these ratios for us. Because it does take quite a bit of time to do it. 32,700 plus 22,200 divided by equity 1.05. Okay, last formula. And we're going to need information up here, I bet. So, times interest earned is net income plus income tax expense plus interest expense divided by interest expense. Okay. There it is, right there, J. Alright, so net income plus income tax expense plus interest. Even though it's showing negative, we're going to do a positive. I'll check it to make sure. So, 3644 plus 2710 plus 900 divided by our interest expense, 900. That's 8.06. See how many decimal places it wants? It wants 2. So 8.06. Yep. Okay. Just double making sure. Alright, so now let's go through all the numbers. So 5149 for net income plus income tax plus what our interest expense is divided by our interest expense. This one is basically none. Okay, 16 again plus 3620 plus 1310 divided by interest. We got 10.37. Okay, 17. Once you start getting these formulas down with this problem, I just repeat each year, so it's good practice. So 12.12, and then last is 18. Oops, that'd be 40.4. Alright, now let's go ahead and answer the question. Alright, so the current and asset test ratios are fairly so 1.1 is acceptable. For current, it's 1.50. So relatively, these are high. We read this. Okay. This indicates the company can pay its liabilities. Company debt, total assets. So, total debt to total assets, that's a debt ratio. Usually we're looking at 57% to 67%, which this is lower. So it's not extraordinary high. Again, it's not even falling into it. Which could interfere with the company making all payments for debt. Times interest earn ratio has blank from 2014 to 2018. It has increased, which, now this is favorable. I want to say favorable. Again, it's an increase. Oh. So we'll facilitate the company making all debts. Okay. Go with it. Either way, that's colon, drop down. I had two choices. Alright. Now we evaluate the dividends, which we know that is dividends yield and dividends payout. Does it look like it has both of those? At least dividends payout. So what was the third one? I don't think it's price earnings. We have dividends payout, dividends yield, and price earnings ratio. Let's see, profitability long term. Not given much here. I wonder if it's dividends per share. Is the only other dividends that they're using? And that is. Okay, go for it. Awesome. Okay. Back to our balance sheet. Dividends per share. Basically a copy of this. So 30 cents. 0.28. 0.24. 0.20. And 0.16. I should have that done. Okay. Now it's dividends payout ratio. So back here. And of course our formula is annual dividends per share divided by earnings per share. Okay. So didn't we have earnings per share already? Yeah, there we go. We already got earnings per share. It's up here. So basically it's taking our dividends and we're going to divide by each of those earnings. So we don't need this right now. Okay. We do need to put in that formula, which is B. Okay. So B. So we're going to take dividends, 0.16. My calculator over here. 0.16 divided by our earnings in 2014, which was 0.48. Okay? And it does state round to the nearest whole percentage. I'm going to have to check that. No. Okay. Well, I mean, it is the nearest whole. It is annual dividends per share divided by earnings per share. So, 0.16 divided by 48.48. We're going to go to 1. Right now, we're going to check on that one. Let's see if 15 and the rest will come out. So, 0.20 divided by our earnings per share, which is 0.70. I am doing something wrong. That should have been 33%. I think my brain is going down, guys. So 33%. Got to put it in percentage. Alright. There we go. So 28.5, so 29%. 16.24 divided by our earnings, which is 0.90. So 26, so 27%. 17. Yeah, 0.28 divided by $1. So that's 28%. That's not bad. Okay, then finally 18.30 divided by 1.3. Okay, so dividends per share is increasing over time, so the stock is attractive. Good. Okay. The last one. Whew. This was a long problem. WBZ's trend of net sales, net income, inventory turnover, earnings per share, and interest times interest earned have all improved. All other measurements have probably held steady. Not even going to look. Because again, it's going through all these. And basically right here I can show that it's showing it's held steady pretty much. And that's it. That completes the homework for chapter 15. So, and taking that there was no questions. So we're going to complete that for today. Again, this is going to be posted up on your D2L.